got my friend's crush deported.
Baby, you got to go to hell, okay?
Today I'm a lawyer, which means I have to defend your confessions. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. Once squeezed my girlfriend's watermelons, you know what I mean, at the lunch table in front of a friend. Well, as long as there was consent involved and your girlfriend consented to that,
I don't see an issue with this.
okay? So, Your Honor, my client, I'm assuming, clearly had gotten consent from his girlfriend to be able to do this. Therefore, I don't see anything wrong with this. So in that case dismissed. I record my church services. Recording in public is not a crime, so case dismissed. I tried to bang my crush in a lucid dream. I was bored. Having playtime in a dream while you're asleep is not a crime. It's not a crime to have dreams about your crush. So, Your Honor, this case is being dismissed. I accidentally released into the family peanut butter jar once while pleasuring myself. My clients, while he was having playtime, he wasn't in the right state of mind, right? He was clearly under a lot of dopamine rush, a bunch of excitement, and he wasn't thinking straight. And as a result, he obviously did something that he wasn't supposed to do, but he was in the right headspace. This may call for probation, but as this client's lawyer, I believe he was not under the right headspace to make a
Sound decision.
So I'm going to give you probation. I think I might be in love with a dating simulator character. Well, it's not a crime to be in love with a fictional character. Concerning, sure. You want to go check that out, maybe see what's going on in the head? Sure, but it's not a crime, so case dismissed. I don't really like going to church because I like spending time with God alone, preferably. And as you should. Your relationship with God is between you and Him. It's nobody else's business but y'all's. Again, it's not a crime to believe in God. It's okay, it's dismissed. My house is covered in my friend's stuff because I always steal it and wait till they notice, but they rarely do. I also heard humans taste like pork. I'm not sure what you heard about humans tasting like pork. As for you taking your friend's stuff, stealing is a crime, right? But assuming because your friend has not noticed that you have been taking their items, they might have a lot of that item. They might have a lot of quantity of that item in particular. So is it necessarily stealing or is it you helping them get rid of extra stuff that they don't need, right? So, Your Honor, my client isn't stealing. They're actually helping their friend out by getting rid of excess stuff as their friend has not noticed their stuff going missing. So as a result, I think your case is being dismissed. When I was younger, I had a habit of getting with people, and one time this guy asked if I wanted to do only playtime with him. I was 3 years younger, and he thought I was a girl. I ended up permanently scarred from that. Also, hey y'all, I'm sorry you had to go through that. People can be really weird at times. Your Honor, my client was clearly a victim, okay? This shouldn't even be a case. You're clearly a victim of some weirdo that needs to be in jail or on house arrest or something. Case dismissed. I'm too scared to ask my atheist parents to take me to church. Your parents shouldn't be upset with you wanting to build a relationship with God or whatever religion you believe in. So, and again, it's not a crime to go to church. So, case dismissed. I reported someone I hated to the IRS for underreporting their income when they didn't. And they didn't show up to school for the next week. And they looked terrified when they came back. I think they got audited and forced to provide bank statements for the last 5 years. And explain if each one was reported. And if it wasn't, explain why it isn't taxable. So, Your Honor, this really shouldn't even be a case. My client was doing their due diligence. They were protecting the law. They were enforcing the law. Okay? Now, as to why they hated the person or why they didn't like the person, that's nobody's business but them and the other person. This case is being dismissed. You did your due diligence. I got in a street fight with some kids when I was 8. Hit him in the face so hard it turned purple. I won. So, obviously, we should never be condoning violence, right? But, again, Your Honor, we were all kids, okay? As kids, we've all done very dumb, maybe not the smartest things, right? And so, as a result, my client should not be in court for this confession because they were a little kid when this took place. Nothing serious. So case dismissed. I got my friend's crush deported.
Baby, you got to go to hell, okay?
Someone bet me $50 that I wouldn't call up ICE and give them her information. I did and got the $50. They're currently in the ICE detention center or back in her home country. I have no comment. I'm gonna give this case to someone else. I was exposed to lust at 5 years old. Whoever exposed you to it needs to be locked up in prison for the rest of their lives. Throw away the keys. I'm dead serious too. Why are y'all exposing y'all's kids to this kind of stuff at young ages? So this is me confessing. Love your vids, by the way. Anyway, so I was having playtime when my brother walked in and said, "Dang, that's big." Then we jumped on the bed and ate my lollipop, and then we later became couples. Bye. Okay, I'm sorry. There's no way to defend this. Y'all both need to be locked up. Both of y'all need to be locked up. Y'all can be a couple in prison, okay? I am not about to sit here and defend y'all's crimes. I had playtime with my pillow for 30 minutes while my sister was sleeping right next to me. Your Honor, my client was simply relieving. Yeah, I can't defend this. I'm sorry. You gotta go to jail. Actually, no, I'll be nice. It wasn't too bad.
I'll give you probation.
When I was 10, I was on vacation one time, and I was in the ocean and had to poop real bad. I didn't have nowhere else to go, so I pooped, and in hopes that nobody stepped on it, I chucked the first log further outward and landed next to a bald man's shoulder with a little sploosh. I ducked underwater and ended up swimming just a few feet away, so he didn't exactly see where it was thrown from. But it doesn't end there. I fished out another one, and this one was bigger, but I didn't want to risk throwing it again, so I left it near the shore of the beach. A few minutes later, not only did the bald guy find it, but a lady that was with him, I assumed she was his wife or something, stepped on it and let out a loud scream. I just acted like nothing happened and didn't tell nobody since. That was 9 years ago. Am I finna burn? No, you're not going to burn, but you might have some serious issues. You might have to put you somewhere.
Right.
I do understand to an extent because you were 10, there's no bathroom around you, and so as a result, you did what you had to do. Now, as to why you tried to throw your poop, specifically your log, I don't really know why you did that. That's a bit concerning. But Your Honor, my client simply had a bathroom emergency
And did what had to be done.
and the people that were a victim of him throwing his poop at them were clearly in the way of him trying to relieve himself of his medical emergency. Case dismissed. When I was in kindergarten, I was in the library and I had to pee, like really bad. So I asked if I could go to the restroom and the librarian said no. So I peed right on the floor. Then another kid noticed and I blamed it on someone else as I was still peeing. So yeah, thanks for reading. I just found your channel and love your content. Thank you. Listen, Your Honor, my client
Was simply having a medical emergency.
just like the last confession, okay? My client was going through a medical emergency. The librarian wouldn't let my client relieve herself of this medical emergency. And so as a result, she did what she had to do, which is pee on the floor. Sure, it may not have been ideal, but if my clients had access to better care from the librarian, this never would have been a thing in the first place. So as a result, your case has been dismissed. It was after bro's sleepover. We made lunch at 3 a.m. Then I put soy sauce in someone's drink. As a punishment, the other bros used soccer socks as a thigh highs and put them on me. They put up my shorts to look like they were tight undies, took a towel and gave me a mini skirt with it. Then they cut up my skirt to give me a crop top and then used markers to give me eyeliner and blush. Then they made me crawl on all fours and meow. And I would walk around cleaning up their trash while they played video games. Then they would wrestle with me, and when I told them it was bad and horrible, they just spanked me and told me to meow more. So I did. The worst part is I liked it a lot and asked to do it again. And then I was never invited to bro's sleepover again.
Find me a church. I've done everything everybody else wants to do. Find me a church.
Well, as concerning as his confession is,
Even though it was a punishment,
you were enjoying yourself. Technically, no crimes were legally committed here, so case dismissed. If you guys want me to try and defend y'all's confessions as a lawyer again, send yours in the link below, and I will see you guys in my next video.